if tonight after the tournament is over, all of you plebs in chat do not queue up for ladder. Y'all are not supporting DBDLeague. Y'all are not supporting your 1v1 gods over here that you guys fanboy over so clearly, myself included. So you know what? Catch me on ladder tonight. We will be queuing up. All right, y'all accept my challenge. If y'all want to chase me and down me in 10 seconds, like go ahead, accept my challenge.
Let's go for that indeed. So Ivn, there he is, everyone's favorite. So let's see if it's going to be the legend making the glorious return and run through with the 2-0 into the semis, or if it's going to be a little bit of an unexpected stop here. That's going to be the Doctor in set number 1, and we are running around the shack first, going to vault the window here, using the light perfectly to react there to the Doctor's movement, therefore staying safe here. Shock doesn't hit. Usually you really want to make sure that the survivor cannot vault the pallet before you are going into the shack themselves. That's not going to work out here, so Ivn is going to take just a few shocks, but does make it over towards the pallet. But perfect prevention here coming in from Madz. Very perfectly timed shock. Beautiful to see that. Ivn makes it back towards the shack. Pallet would have been crazy if Madz would have gotten that shock in time as well, but the distance a little bit too big. But that was quicker than expected, and if Madz is pulling out a mind game like this again, that could be a pretty good result for him. But unfortunately it seems like Madz is a little bit mind gaming himself over there.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, you saw that drop preemptively from Ivn. This should be a down unless you make it to this. This is so scary. I don't know if you make it. Yeah, this is going to be a down. On to Ivn right there. Like you said, a little bit of a mind game right there from Madz. I think it's mostly just because of that pre-drop and like the direction that you pre-dropped a little bit right there. But 117 is going to be what the time is going to be. So I'm actually really curious to see how that's going to end up looking towards. I think this is really winnable, honestly.
Yeah, I think so as well. There's definitely the chance here. So where are all the Ivn fans, ladies and gentlemen? Where are you? Are the Ivn?
I see a lot of people. I see a lot of people cheering for Madz in the chat, right?
Out of nowhere, those are also coming out. Okay, I was just asking, where are the people that have like a printed poster of Ivn in live perfect size, and then hanging it down their balcony for the neighbors so everyone can stare on Ivn day and night, knowing exactly that the ladder supporters are over there. But yeah, Madz can definitely take that. I would say sorry to all the Ivn fans, but I think that is winnable, and I think that is something where you can definitely work with. I can just hope that it's not going to be like in football where all the people are just rooting for the one that is winning and constantly changing their favorite team, because that is something that pretty often happens. So I hope that the true Ivn fans will stay here, will now get a little bit loud, will get the support in, because a little bit of support will be needed. Madz is in a perfect position here, if you are asking me. Like, obviously, when you face a player like Ivn, you have a little bit of respect. You know how many people stand behind Ivn, what a legend he is, right? And then 1 minute and what was it, 117, I believe? Yeah, 117. That's a crazy result. I'm really up for a surprise here.
Yeah, no, obviously, definitely, potentially could take the first game right here if you're Madz. You know, like we said, this is not the worst win con ever. This is a pretty good win con, but theoretically, this is probably a Madz win, because I feel like Ivn is usually approaching 2 minutes with pretty much every killer consistently, right? So seeing like low 1 minutes, I think is really scary. Uses a medium vault right there though, so doesn't actually get the finesse, but could be using it pretty soon right here. Gonna keep looping. Decides to wait a little bit just to get the free distance right here. I think eventually, if you don't drop that pallet, you actually don't make it to shack around, or the second time around before getting tagged. So finally using the finesse, trying to waste a little bit more time. This first hit is taking quite a bit. A mind game here potentially could do it. Not really sure what where Ivn's looking to shock to, but right here is definitely a good time. Unfortunately, does get the vault right before the shock happens, so really, really unlucky. I think that's probably enough now.
Yeah, should be good here. Madz going to get the distance, maintaining the distance, and even forcing Ivn into a missed shock attack now here. So pretty good work so far, and that's going to be not even the injury until we meet the win condition almost. Yeah, hello. Where are all the Ivn fans?
Hey, bro, I'm right here.
That's going to be the 1-0. Yeah,
I'm right here, bro.
SSB. What's up?
Hey man, my glorious king over here just donating wins. I'm just kidding. Madz played that very, very well. This is a well-deserved win for sure. He played really well on Doctor, and now he's playing really well on Survivor in order to earn himself that victory right there. So Ivn gonna have to win 2 more right here. This is a W, but this is the W for Madz, not for Ivn right here so far.
Yeah, very, very well done. And now obviously Madz is trying to make this as long as possible here, because that will build momentum, right? Madz will stay on the Survivor side. It's going to be Ivn killer once again in the second set for the pick. Obviously Ivn that second killer, to make a little bit of a word joke here.
All right, can we ban Direwolf, please? Someone ban Savannah, where are you?
Not yet. A lot of people are asking for that. You cannot do that. You have to deal with it, man. The pig, I feel like, has the potential to be difficult here, because we have seen quite some great mind games with her. Sometimes more, sometimes less. Some players in this tournament opted to go for the crouch fake, for example, to make them go into the next tile and losing a little bit of distance. Some played it like a brutal M1 killer. My theory is, though, if we have seen the pig from Ivn here, there must be a little bit more than just playing a brutal M1 killer, right? Because otherwise we can also, for example, go for the trapper and just try to put it down like this. So I'm excited to see what's happening here, but I see the potential that Madz has just built a pretty strong mindset and momentum for himself, and if he's able to maintain it, that might be tricky for Ivn.
No, 100%. Definitely having that momentum going to the second game after playing a really good killer, chasing on Survivor long enough, you have the momentum going in. But the legends on the in the streets, they do speak of the Ivn Pih. It's specifically Pih. You have to say it like that. That Ivn's Pig is very, very strong, honestly. I feel like we've seen some crazy chases. You know, if you guys check out his streams as well, he usually holds it down pretty well. So this is definitely, this feels like an Ivn pick, but I could be wrong. Regardless, this is still really, I think this is still anyone's game at the end of the day. He's able to just play Pig so well, which is crazy because, like you said, it's kind of basically a basic M1 killer, you know, with the brutal strength. But, I mean, now it's going to be up to Madz to set up this win con right here. If you can set up a good time, I mean, realistically, Ivn's Pig is like, I would say probably like 3 minutes minimum. So if you can, if he's playing really well, so you're going to have to get that out of him for sure. See how much you can actually, you can juice Ivn for here. Does get the shack already and has this eye loop right here as well. This is the moment right here. The check, yeah, who needs check spots when you just hold W back to shack, right? Like, that was a moment where if you try to hold a check spot right there while Ivn's crouching and hiding his terror radius, that's when Ivn really can cut the distance off with a simple mind game, and you have time to make it back to this eye loop anyway. So Madz, honestly, probably doing the optimal decision there.
Yeah, the power of making distance, right? It's so insane how these players are connecting tiles together and not really going for the mind games if they don't have to. no! And the knife, I saw it. It was almost cutting through the jacket of Ace here, just a few millimeters. Unfortunately, not going to be the injury right here. So Madz now on 130 and above. Very, very well played so far. And we can tell this momentum that we have built up in the Doctor trial, it is visible here. Now though, Ivn with the holding W, outplaying Madz a little bit, but it seems like he calculated that a little bit, wanted to take the injury there, gaining a little bit of distance, dropping that early to make the distance between himself and the killer even bigger. Does have the main building available here. That's going to be a long waiting time until finally it is decided that the breakable ball must leave the trial. But next strong filler pallet here available for Madz needs to be a pre-drop, and now we are going into the TNL chase. So that's the potential for the down here, and hopefully Ivn can actually win for the Mind King. He does make this one, and that should not be enough. It is going to be the unfortunate Minecraft play there into the window. Now after the second one, you would think that's going to be the down, but once again he is able to make it back towards this TNL. Yeah, hello, what is happening? Madz is camping on the roof of the headquarters of Behavior Interactive with a cocktail in his hand, and finally it's the down. But SSB, that was so much extra time added here. That is really painful.
Look, man, I'll glaze Ivn until the day that I die. That was an insane chase. We might be looking at the end of the Ivn run here. That was an insane chase. The vaults, right? Like Ivn just trying to pull the trigger a little bit too early on those on those swings towards the window, and the pallet not able to work out. But man, he played that so well, you know. And dare I say it, just to kind of throw it back to Ivn, 3 fillers, 3 minutes. Like that is the key to win. But if you're not able to actually win here, that's gonna be it. I mean, you're down 1-0. Madz is playing out of his mind, you know, like we need to see the Ivn Pig. We need it to go crazy, but I mean, dude, Madz is playing out of their minds for sure. It's such a treat to watch, man, because obviously we talk about how good these top 1v1 players are, but then Madz just kind of kicks the door down and is like, sorry, what was that? What about me? Oh, y'all didn't mention Madz. Okay. And Madz is cooking so hard right now.
Yeah, he's playing out of his mind, right? And it is a factor that I'm claiming here that a lot of people, in my opinion, underestimate. And every time Grandpa is talking about momentum and the mentality you go for the next trial, everyone is rolling the eyes and says, well, that is not the biggest factor here. And maybe it's not. Maybe it is a lot about their skill. But from the Doctor set, it was a clear win already, and that does put quite some confidence into you, right? You're going against Ivn, you know it's a legend from ladder, you know a lot of supporters are rooting for Ivn, and then you're coming out with a minute extra on the first set. That is just something that you take into the next trials as well, and that is something that you almost have like a company for yourself through the remaining trials. So really well done here by Madz, and that's going to be not the easiest challenge here. 2:34 is a typical time where it's like anything can happen, really, but I think we should see Ivn playing a little bit more careful. You cannot have the early injury, you cannot have anything unexpected. You need to make sure that you're not finding yourself on a tile where the pick can go into the dash attack or something like this. You need to make sure that it's all working out 100% here. So let's see if Ivn is surprisingly dropping from this tournament, ladies and gentlemen, or if we are unexpectedly going to see, I don't want to say unexpectedly yet, but if we see the comeback of Ivn here. Off we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to be Amanda chasing down Ivn. Let's see if it's going to be successful here, taking the life super early. That is kind of the most safe begin that you can take in one of these chases, SSB.
Yeah, no nonsense, right? Like, not even trying to mind game Shaq, literally just trying to get his 2 loops and the pallet drop, and now going to opt to go for the bus potentially here. Do you have the window right here? Yeah, you have the pallet and the window, so you actually, this is actually pretty good. But look at that. That's the brutal strength right there, I'm pretty sure. I think at this point, if you have a really good win con as Pig, I think you just need to just walk Ivn down consistently, just drop these pallets, you know, and even if you do, like, you do drop them, you can break them pretty quickly, I think. Like, I think eventually it slowly adds up, but we're back here at an Ivn pillar, and this is potentially where we can start seeing a mind game, unless we see, no, just a pallet drop right there, but I think the Bloodlust might be enough to at least force it. Finesse could definitely do something here, and just like that, able to avoid it, forcing Madz to break that pallet, and now making it all the way to main building. You have this window right here to at least put yourself some distance right here, but then this is where the mind game happens, right? This is scary. Yeah, the door breaking right there. Yeah. This is pretty textbook. You still have some pallets here, but we're starting to run a little bit out of resources too.
Yeah, running out of resources, but also running out of time slowly on the side of the killer. We're now below the 1 minute here that is needed for Ivn, and we do not even have the injury yet. And once we have the injury, we have the sprint burst. That is going to be some time just basically gifted through the sprint burst. That's going to be the injury right here, unfortunate. And now it's going to be the last chance for Madz to get anything done, but Ivn, with this distance that we have here, should be fine. If you're asking me, I don't expect too bad from happening, because this filler pallet is also available here. He's just holding straight W back towards the fun bus. Hopefully that is not too greedy. It is not, ladies and gentlemen, so we are taking a few more circles, and that means that the big legendary Ivn, the one and only here, is making the fans happy. We are going into the tiebreaker.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, this was so heavily contested. This was very, very scary. I mean, that one finesse into the swing, was that 2 seconds? Was that, you win by 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
oh my
2
god.
seconds.
Literally just barely winning is actually insane. And that was literally quite literally just by the skin of his teeth. You know, I guess 234 was enough for the Ivn Pih to take that dub right there. But man, now we're going into the tiebreaker, like you said, and now it's up to anyone's game, because now you lose that momentum, and now Ivn can actually set the tone with the survivor. Now can set the time as well. So that was kind of crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit scared. That finesse wall into Madz, I think that was very scary. My heart stopped for a second. I think yours did too. You were like, whoa, what's going on? But man, I mean, this is such a banger set. This is the first set of our time together on the mic. I don't know how the rest, or the second set, I mean, I don't know how the rest of this tournament is gonna go. Like, if this is already, you know, this close, I can't imagine how the other sets are gonna be.
Yeah, for example, I mean, A and Dark is going to be a quarterfinal like this. Rocket and Xeno is going to be a quarterfinal. And then, yeah, we are only in the quarterfinals so far. So I cannot even take that many heart pills to survive all the drama that is going to come out here. Oh, no, drama is banned. So we will not have any drama. But ladies and gentlemen, when two players like these two, when two players like Madz and Ivn are going into the tiebreaker set, wouldn't you say, ladies and gentlemen, that this is a nightmare to play with? So it is going to be none other than Mr. Krüger here. We are going to adjust the position. Ivn says, go over there. No, now we are changing again.
Dude, anyone in chat want to take my spot on commentary? These dad jokes are starting to get to me, guys. I'm just kidding. You said nightmare, and I'm like, okay, man. Okay, they said, look, if you let me over on the pallet side, I will give you money for casino. That's what I heard. That's the negotiation. So if you can, you can go play casino if you give me this side. I don't know what's happening though. So, like, I think the stare down is crazy.
They have to start in sleep, but for some reason we are not going to make it faster. So we have a little bit of a standoff here. So now we can start this. Ivn is properly set up. Final look here on the resources. Once again, a switch, and Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Ivn on the run as survivor in the tiebreaker set against the Freddy that is coming out from Madz. And honestly, after Madz played so well and now just lost it by 2 seconds, I must say I'm rooting a little bit for Madz here, honestly. It would be, first of all, it would be a surprise. Not everyone would count him in. He played really well. 2 seconds, it's obviously extremely unlucky, so you would feel really bad if you're now going to drop from the tournament. So let's hope that Madz can sleep good tonight, because he made it into the semifinals, but obviously a very strong opponent. Ivn is not going to let that happen. Made a lot of distance here going over towards the houses section, finds a good pallet over here and wants to run it from this side because that makes it a little bit easier to mind game. You can see the red stain a little bit through the cracks, and that is the perfect vault right here. Very good showing so far from Ivn. That should be the base for a good chase that we're seeing here.
Yeah, already finding a little bit of momentum right there with that finesse. This is going to be the tag pretty soon right here. Yeah, just like that. Does make it into main building, and I think the tag into main, I think, is enough for Ivn to at least, you know, extend this chase a little bit longer. But I'm very curious to see what the thought is going to be here. Breaks the door just because you know that we're going to see a little bit of a suboptimal chase right here. Falling, yeah. Okay, I actually like the looping right here from Ivn, using that window as opposed to taking the long way to try to close the distance up a little bit. But now this is the moment where, if you can see the Freddy, you are able to at least, you know, hold these check spots. Like, really smart stuff from Ivn. But is this another window? Yeah, the window's blocked now. So this is at this point, I feel like the chase is coming to an end very soon here. It's going to come down to whether or not you can maximize your time right here. Can you make it to the window? You still can. Okay. Ivn's still playing this really well and now has the map available to him.
Yeah, making it back towards the filler pallet over here. Nice, even getting the stun. That equals more distance and therefore more time loss here from Madz. Very well done by Ivn, and it feels like he needed these first 2 sets to maybe be put a little bit into a challenging position to lock in and showing what he is capable of. But right now he's making an almost unstoppable run, doesn't even hesitate when facing the Dream Snare there. Once again over towards the water tower now, where we also still have the pallet. Very well done what we're seeing here from Ivn. Pallet being dropped, so we have some difficult mind games here. That's why the killer is going to just break the pallet, and now we are on the Deadlock Saloon. TNL here, a little bit of hesitation. That's now going to be the down eventually, but that is more than 3 minutes on the Freddy. That is an insane result.
Yeah, 304 is really good for sure. I mean, unfortunately, right there, I think Ivn just kind of held the check spot a little bit too far out there. Unfortunately, not able to actually. I think if you hold, I think the locker might have played a part in kind of closing that distance as well, where it was on that TNL. But I mean, regardless, this was really good. I mean, we've been seeing I don't know if this is just me, obviously, because I haven't been keeping up with 1v1s over the last like year and a half or so. But is it just me, or like because of the rework on Freddy, is he just a more popular pick for 1v1s now, just because he has an actual ability in chase to at least close the distance down?
Yeah, he's finally not getting bullied anymore, so to say.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be really good though at the end of the day. So I'm actually gonna be really curious to see how this works. I mean, if Madz has been playing out of his mind pretty much, you know, the entire set. So this is potentially, you know, this is still potentially could be crazy crazy time right now that we could be seeing from Madz. So it's going to come down to whether or not he can hold it down. But if Ivn can just, you know, if he locks in and just, you know, brings us home, I think that's enough of a momentum shift in order for him to maybe carry on to the future rounds. But I think regardless, either player here, no matter who wins, still has a tall order. Because like, imagine you play this hard fought set and it's super close. Like game Killer 2 was a 2-second difference, and then this is, you know, goes to the tiebreak. It's really close. And what do you get if you win? you get to play Pedro next. Like it's insane how stacked this tournament is, you know, at the end of the day. But we're gonna get started pretty soon. We're just waiting for you know, the sleep to happen, and then we're gonna get started pretty soon here.
Yeah, and it seems like we are good to go. Off we go for the final run in this tournament, ladies and gentlemen. For one of these guys, either Ivn or Madz will say goodbye. There's a bamboozle coming out that seemed to be a little bit unexpected for Madz, but he does make it back towards the shack pallet, not taking the injury horrendously early here. 3 minutes is the magical border. 3 minutes and a little bit of W holding will be enough, and that's going to be the injury after just 30 seconds, meaning that you now have to run 2 minutes 30 to make it happen here. That is a tremendously difficult task, especially on this pallet, where when you have dropped it and then vaulting it can be hit through the fence. Ivn already trying that, and yeah,
oh my
God.
That
is going to be a very sad ending for Madz. I feel all the way into tiebreaker. He was able to win over Ivn by such a time difference, then Ivn only winning by 2 seconds, and now this very horrible down after just 49 seconds. That actually hurts, SSB.